Hello everyone! It's been like 3 weeks since I last posted a video because I've done a whole lot of stuff yet at the same time, a whole lot of nothing, so I just didn't get around to posting a video. But officially finished my finals, done with the semester, so that was nice. I've just been chilling with my family the past like 2 weeks, watching a whole lot of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills because I'm obsessed with reality TV. Yeah, getting ready for Christmas in 4 days. It's our favorite holiday, so we've been wrapping presents and whatnot. Today is what? Today's the 21st, so Paul's coming in 9 days. He's coming for like a week and a half, and then together me and him are gonna road trip back to Virginia because that's where we both live, and then it's time to go back to school. I'll stay in Virginia, he'll go to Maryland. That'll be fun. Yeah, so, oh, and I don't know if I ever told everyone, but Paul got his service selection. He got Marines, and so that means he'll be in Quantico, Virginia upon graduation, which is really exciting because that's where we met. That's where we went to high school. I'm repping our class shirt right now. So yeah, that's where he'll be going right after graduation. I still don't know where I'm going after graduation, but that's for me to figure out because I got like 5 months, which is really not a long time, but I'm gonna figure it out. But yeah, so I asked for suggestions for this video and got a lot of suggestions. Got some funny ones, but the one that I landed on for today is places that I've lived in my life. People think it's like cool that I'm a military kid. Super grateful that I am. Gotten to experience a lot. Super blessed. So we're gonna go through the places that I've lived and my favorite places, my not so favorite places. Yeah. So I was born in Torrance, California. And I grew up in Carson, California up until I was like in first grade. If you don't know where Carson is, it's between like Long Beach and Los Angeles. It's like equal distance to both. Most people just still don't know where Carson is. I used to like make jokes about it in high school, but it's the city right next door to Compton. It was a fun place to grow up. My family still lives in Carson, and I'm making a point to go there at least once a year. I spent all summer there this summer, which was fun. So yeah, I lived in Carson, California, and I was there up until I was in the first grade. We moved like 2 or 3 weeks before the school year ended. We moved to Quantico, Virginia, because my dad commissioned into the Marine Corps, and so that just took us there. And we were supposed to live there for 6 months, but it ended up extending and whatnot, and he had to go do like some business work in Florida, and so we ended up staying in Virginia a bit longer than planned, and so we ended up living there 10 months. And then from there we moved back to California. And we lived in Pacific Beach, which is a very nice beachy area, like a short drive to SeaWorld. We could actually see like the SeaWorld fireworks from our house, so every weekend the fireworks would go off and I could see them from my bedroom window, so that was fun. We lived there for a little bit, and then my dad was still like stationed in the same place, but my parents decided to buy a house in a different area, and so we ended up moving, and we moved to another part of California called Escondido. Really liked that area, and I went to middle school there. At that point I did like 5th and 6th grade in that area. Really liked it. We made it a point to like still drive to Los Angeles to visit my family every single weekend. And the drive from like San Diego to Los Angeles, like 2.5 hours. We do that every single weekend. That was fun. And we knew it would be time for my dad to move again, and I'm very, very close to my extended family, like my grandparents and my aunt and uncles and my cousins. Like, we're all super close. And the longest I had ever lived away from them was when we lived in Virginia for those 10 months. But we had never like really left longer than that. And so when I was in the 6th grade, my dad picked me up from school, and he's like, oh, like I found out where we're moving, and I was like, oh my gosh, where? Like Arizona, like still quick distance. But no, we ended up moving to South Carolina. Super shocked. I'm gonna be honest, at that time I didn't even know where South Carolina was on a map. Never heard great super great things about it, so I was super upset, just not happy about it. That was a sucky move. And so we moved to South Carolina, and we lived in Beaufort, which is a really historical part of South Carolina, but my parents just didn't really like the housing there. So we only lived in Beaufort for about like 10 months, not even a whole year. And we ended up moving to Bluffton, South Carolina, which is like a 45-minute drive away, but it's right next door to Hilton Head, and that was a very, very fun place to live. Made a lot of friends, a very nice area. And so I did 8th and 9th grade there. And then we knew it would be time for my dad to move again. And I was hoping that we'd go back to California because that's just my home state. All my family's there. I love it. But we did not. And my dad ended up getting orders back to Virginia, and that was the absolute worst move I have ever gone through. I was just super sad. We left at the end of 9th grade, so I was in high school. It like sucked. No one wants to move in high school. And that summer that they moved to Virginia, I ended up going to California to stay with my family. That's like something I did all throughout, pretty much like starting probably like in 8th grade, 7th grade. Every summer I would just go spend in California, just because I miss my family, and I was a lot. I'm still a lot, and so my parents needed a break from me, so that they would send me to California. So I got to Virginia like 2 days before school started. I was very upset. When I was in school in South Carolina, I went to like a regular school. It was a high school with like 2,000 students. It was pretty big. But then when I got to Virginia, I went to a school that was a middle/high school. That's why we were QMHS, because it was Quantico Middle High School, so 6th through 12th grade, and there was no more than 300 students at any point when I was there. And so we were only supposed to be in Virginia for 2 years, so we were supposed to move again at the end of my junior year, but my parents just felt really bad putting me through all those moves, because just within those moves I went to a lot of different schools, just because I don't even know why. I think I went to like 9 or 10 schools in my life, but my parents felt really bad moving me right before senior year, so my dad just like talked it out with his monitor, which that's the person who's in charge of like moving people around, and they figured out a plan, and so we were able to stay for my senior year, which was nice because that would have been like totally not fun to go to a new school for senior year. So I got to stay, and that was cool. And then from there we knew that my parents were gonna move again, and every time my parents moved they always put California as their first option. That's just home, and we're just your typical Mexican family. We're all super close, so they wanted to get back. And ever since my dad's been in the military, they've always put Hawaii as number 3 on their list, just because it'd be somewhere cool to live. My dad has always put it as number 3 on his list since he commissioned way back when, but we never thought it was a possibility. But of course, once I graduated high school, that's where they got stationed, and so they moved to Hawaii. And they lived there for 3 years, and I guess I kind of lived there, but not really, because I've been in college, so I've only got to experience it during like long breaks, like Christmas break or summer break. Paul and I went this past spring break, and that was fun, and then, COVID hit, so I ended up staying a little bit longer because I could, which was nice. And then from there, my parents, we now live in Florida. We've never lived here before. It's nice. I'm just here for break. I don't think I'll be moving back once I graduate, but I don't know. We'll see where life takes me. But yeah, those are the places that I've lived. So far, my favorite place has probably been Hawaii. The culture's just so nice there, and everyone's so nice there, and it's beautiful, and it's always sunny, and the beach, and I love the beach. That's my favorite place. California, it's home, and I still consider it home, but I don't think I'll ever move back full time. I'm over it. It's overpopulated. People are wild out there. Too much traffic. It's way too expensive. So it's nice to just go vacation there, but I can never move there full time anymore. I'm just over it. I used to say all the time, like, I'm a California girl, but I'm not anymore. I don't know what kind of girl I am, but I just can't move back there. My least favorite place to live was honestly probably Beaufort, South Carolina. It's just like, it's old, it's run down. It was like swampland, really. And I don't know, it was just like a very dark time. I just like, whenever I think about it, it was just like, it was gloomy, it was sad. The school that I went to was like pretty run down. But I was only there for 10 months, so that was probably my least favorite place. Like a place that I could see myself like settling down full time is probably like the Quantico, Virginia area. I like it. Like, there's people there. It's like city life, but it's not too crazy like Los Angeles. So maybe I'll end up in Northern Virginia after graduation. Don't know. Places that I wish we would have lived that my family hasn't gotten a chance to yet. Okinawa, Japan. We know a lot of other military families who have gotten to live there, and it looks so pretty. But we never got a chance to live there. And it's a very hectic, hard move. And we have 2 dogs, and like that would just make it so stressful, because even moving our dogs to Hawaii and back was just a hassle for my parents, because you have to like quarantine dogs, and they only fly dogs during like certain times of the year, and blah blah blah. And our dogs are family, so we can't leave them. So I don't think my parents want to move there anytime soon, but I wish we would have moved there when I was younger. I think that would have been fun. Or Stuttgart, Germany. We've known families who've lived there. I've never lived overseas ever, so that would have been cool to experience. Could be cool to experience in the future, to live somewhere else. But one really cool thing that I have that I'm probably going to take back to school with me next month when I go back to Virginia is, hold on, give me a minute, let me go get it. It's kind of hard to see, but it's this canvas. It says my name on it, and places I've lived in where I ended up graduating high school, which is Quantico, Virginia. But I have a little backstory to it. So my mom actually made me this as a high school graduation gift. It like totally shocked me. I cried when I got this gift, and I don't really usually cry, but it was very sentimental. Oh my gosh, I don't want to cry talking about it now. But so, like I said, I lived in Carson up until I was like in 1st grade. We lived with my grandparents because my parents were just young, and we just found it easy to live with them. And so when we moved to Virginia the very first time, that was the first time that like my parents and I had lived on our own, and that was like the first place my parents ever had together. And when you're young and you're getting your first place, like, you don't have a lot of stuff. And so when we moved there, we lived a few weeks without furniture, now I think about it. I was the first one to get like a bed and a bed frame, but like for the first like 3 weeks that we lived in our apartment, we just slept on the floor. And then once my parents got my furniture, then they got their bedroom furniture, and then like we eventually like got couches and whatever, and like we eventually filled up the place. And then now like here we are like 15-16 years later, and they've like filled up their whole house with furniture and stuff. But so I remember one of the first things that we ever got was this canvas, and I don't know if you can tell, it's kind of hard to tell because my mom painted it over it, but it's a canvas of like a house like on a farm. It's like really not the best painting. She probably got it at like Ross or TJ Maxx or something, but that was like one of the first things that they got, and they hung it up in our dining room in our apartment. And then every move after that, this canvas was always hung up. In like Pacific Beach, we hung it up in the living room, and it's just like always been a part of our house. And then I guess I kind of just like lost track of it once we left in South Carolina. Like once we got to Virginia, I didn't even notice that my parents didn't hang it up, and I guess it had been sitting under the staircase in our laundry room, and I hadn't noticed that it wasn't hanging up. So when my mom gave it to me, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool, like it's all personal, like it says my name and everywhere that I've lived, still not realizing what canvas it was. And then my mom's like, do you see like in the background of it? And I was like, what? So I looked closely, and so she painted over it with red and oranges and stuff because this matched like my room theme. But I could see in the background the house on the farm, and I was like, wait, that's like the canvas that has hung in like all our houses. And so my mom was like, yep, just something like really personal. something that we've had since day one, and I'm going to keep this gift forever. Yeah, it was just really special because this was from our first home together, and my mom refurbished it and made it a gift, and I love it a lot. We haven't hung it up in my new room because remember I live like in the attic / office, and I kind of want to take it with me to school. I'm also worried that like during my moving process, wherever I end up, it'll get damaged. So we'll see, because I don't want it to get damaged, something really special. But yeah, those are the places that I've lived. Moving as a military kid, I don't know how to explain it. I used to really like it. I think I liked it from like first to probably 7th grade. It wasn't that bad. Once I got into high school, it just really sucked having to leave friends, because it just sucks. Like, who wants to make friends and then leave? And I think that's why I have like such tough skin. Like, people who meet me now, they're like, oh my gosh, you're like pretty hardcore. It takes a lot to bother me. But when you move so much and you're constantly meeting people and leaving people, like, you just have to mentally prepare your heart for it, so you're not sad. Yeah, but I'm really gonna be sad in May when I'm done with school and I have to move again, because college has been the longest place that I've ever lived in my life. I've never been out of school for 4 years. It actually gave me a lot of anxiety when I first got to college, that I was expected to stay there for so long. Like, I talked to my parents about it and I was like, I have to stay here 4 years, like, I might transfer halfway through. I've never been out of school for 4 years, but it's been a lot of fun. I'm really grateful for moving. I've got to experience so many places and travel to so many places. The amount of cross-country trips that we've taken as a family is really cool. Now that I'm older, like, I know people all over the world now, because a lot of my friends from childhood and high school, they ended up joining the military themselves, or they all went back to their like home states. I guess like as military kids, we don't really have home states because we've grown up everywhere, but just like the states where our parents met and like the journey started. Like for me, it'd be California. Like I said, I don't think I'll move back full time, but I don't know. It just depends what opportunities are there for me. But yeah, I just want to talk a little bit about that, especially because I know I have a lot of viewers on here that are gonna join the military or are military girlfriends or whatnot, and just talk about the experience. It's a lot. Moving is a lot. My parents moved here in July, and they're still working on claims and stuff that was damaged during their moves, because that's the thing about moving constantly. Your stuff is constantly broken or lost, or yeah, just anything you can think about. But yeah, that is my life. Those are the places that I've lived, places that I would like to live in. I really wonder where I'll end up after graduation. I think I'm just gonna end up in Northern Virginia. I'm just like kind of iffy about moving here to Florida because my parents only have 1 year left here once I graduate. And that's just a lot to like come here and get a full-time job and then have them leave, because I don't want to stay in Florida. I don't know anyone here, and so then I would have to like move with them, and how the heck am I supposed to get a job and be like, oh, I have to leave now because my parents are leaving. So I just need somewhere stable. But yeah, in the upcoming weeks, I probably won't post a video again until Paul gets here on the 30th. We're probably going to do a couples Q&A. We did those a lot over quarantine on my Instagram story. People say we're funny. I'm funny. Just kidding. We're both funny with each other. So that'll be fun. What else is to come up these coming up weeks? I'm just relaxing, honestly. Next semester I have practicum, which is like full-time, 8 to 5, every day. So I'm just trying to take it all in, relax now. I also have my real estate course starting in the new year. It starts on January 1st, so I got to do that. Hoping to get my real estate license for the state of Virginia. I might do it for the state of Florida. That's something I'm still trying to figure out depending on where I end up. But yeah, gonna start my real estate class, do practicum, just really enjoy my last few weeks here at home. It's been fun living with my siblings again. I forgot how entertaining they are. And just chilling with my mom, seeing my dogs. I miss my dogs. And that's something else to look forward to the next coming weeks, months. I've been looking at getting my own puppy, because I just need companionship after graduation. And I have a dog here. Our family chocolate lab is my dog, but I'm not allowed to take her with me because she's like now the family dog, and that would just leave everyone sad. Also, our dogs are just used to being together, so I can't take her. But yes, so please drop questions that you want to ask me and Paul, any questions that you have about the military lifestyle, moving, acclimation, making new friends, leaving old friends. Yeah, but thank you so much for watching, y'all. I'll make a new video soon.